50 economies. One country, the hidden divide of America. America is the world's largest economy, over $30 trillion strong. But here's what most people don't realize: that power isn't unified. It's fragmented. Because America is not one economy, it's 50, and the gap between them is wider than ever. Part 1. The scale of the divide. Let's start with raw numbers. The economy of California alone is worth over $4.1 trillion. That's bigger than entire countries like Japan. Now compare that to smaller states like Vermont or Wyoming, with economies under $70 billion. That's not a gap. That's a different universe. In fact, just 4 states, California, Texas, New York, and Florida, generate over 37% of the entire US economy. One country, but economic power concentrated in just a few regions. Part 2. The tech superpower. At the center of modern wealth is technology, and no state dominates it like California, home to Silicon Valley, where companies like Apple and Google generate billions. California alone contributes around 14 to 15% of total US GDP. It's not just a state, it's a global economic superpower. In fact, it ranks as the 4th largest economy in the world, if independent. But here's the contradiction. Despite massive wealth, California also faces rising inequality, housing crises, and high cost of living. Because extreme growth creates extreme pressure. Part 3. The energy giant. Now shift to Texas, a completely different model. Texas has a GDP of roughly $2.7 trillion. That's larger than most countries. Its economy is driven by oil and gas, exports, over $440 billion annually, and manufacturing. And unlike California, Texas thrives on lower taxes and business-friendly policies. But there's a catch. Energy is volatile, and when oil prices fall, entire economic systems shake. Part 4. The financial engine. Then there's New York. GDP $2.2 to $2.3 trillion. But here's what makes it different. New York isn't about production, it's about control. Finance, banking, global capital. It has one of the highest GDP per capita levels in the US, $117,000, meaning fewer people, generating massive economic value. Part 5. The Heartland Reality. Now contrast that with Mississippi. GDP per capita around $53,000, one of the lowest in the country. States like Arkansas, West Virginia tell a similar story. These economies depend on agriculture, low-cost labor, and limited industrial diversification. This is where the American dream feels farthest away. Part 6. The Rust Belt Decline. States like Michigan and Ohio once powered the world. Manufacturing giants, auto empires. But globalization changed everything. Factories moved, jobs disappeared. And today, these states contribute around 2 to 3% each to US GDP. Still significant, but far from dominance. Part 7. The Service Economies. Now look at Florida. GDP contribution, around 5 to 6% of the US economy. Driven by tourism, real estate, and migration. Cities like Las Vegas show another version of this model. But service economies are fragile because they depend on movement. And when movement stops, so does money. Part 8. The Real Divide. Per person. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Not just total GDP, but GDP per person. Top states: New York, Massachusetts, Washington. Lowest: Mississippi, Arkansas. The difference? More than 2x income gap per person. Same country. Completely different life. Part 9. Global Comparison. Here's the most shocking part. Some US states are bigger than entire countries. California is bigger than Japan. Texas is bigger than Italy. Florida is bigger than Australia. In fact, 19 US states rank among the world's top 50 economies. America isn't just a country. It's a collection of economic superpowers. So what is America? A single economy? Or 50 competing ones held together by policy, currency, and belief? Because when one part grows too fast and another falls too far behind, the system doesn't break instantly. It stretches, quietly, until one day, it can't anymore. Subscribe to Deep Terra, because the deeper you look, the less simple the world becomes.